everyone, it's Kerry back with you today. So I'm sure you've seen these before, they're collage strips. Tim Holtz came out with some last year. He's just come out with another batch in his most recent Ideology release. And last year I was inspired by them, and again I've been inspired by them. Now, I have used one of Reenie's kits, or actually a combination of two kits, to make these up, and I wasn't going to make collage strips. I was going to make something else, but when I saw Tim's new release, and then I also saw Margreth from Seven Plaza's video, I was just inspired, and this most recent kit from Reenie, the Little Bits kit, is absolutely perfect for this, so I thought I would give it a go. So I've got some of the kit over here. Now I've already cut up and used some of the kit, but in her usual fashion it comes in all the different colours. It's a mini kit, this one. It adds on to all of the other little bits and all of the other bits and pieces kits, and this one's just called Little Bits, and it's literally just made up of lots of little bits that you can cut apart, or washi strips, and use in your creations. Now, I had another project in mind which I'll come on and show you later, but after I saw Tim and Margreth's strips, I just had to have a go. Now, I'm calling these cheaty collage strips because with this kit you can literally make tons of collage strips in a fraction of the time it takes to piece all of the bits and pieces together. So I've got 3 different methods to show you today, and the longest part is going to be cutting apart the bits. So I've got 3 different methods I want to show you today on how you can put these collage strips together really quickly. So for the first one, I think we'll work in this sort of purpley colour, and what I'm going to do is cut these 2 sections. So down here, I'm going to cut those out from this sheet, and that is going to form the base for my collage strips. Okay, so I've cut my strips apart. These ones are going to become the base for my collage strips, and then I can use these bits here to fill in the bits and pieces, you know, to give my collage strip some variation, like this one here. So I've also taken some photos. Now these photos are from the Grunge Vintage Grunge Elements set. I'll leave links to both of these kits in the description box below. And I'm just going to cut these photos apart. I'm just going to bring in a glue book because I'll be needing that. Now I'm using the lines on these collage strips to help me keep a straight line, but you can use the grid on your mat if you've got a cutting mat, and you can also pop over to our website and there are some freebie templates of grids, alignment grids, that you can download and use those if you find it easier. But basically now all I want to do is start sticking bits and pieces onto my collage strip. Now the photos are slightly wider than the strip, but I'll trim that off at the end. And all I really want to do is create something that's visually pleasing to my eye. All of these colours work well together, so I know that I can pick anything from here. They're all in the same colour way, and it's going to match perfectly. I don't have to worry about, is it the right shade, is it blue, is it purple, blah blah blah. So I'm just going to start building something that I find visually pleasing. So pretty happy with that layout. As you can see, there's lots of bits hanging over the edge, but it's just a matter of gluing them down and then cutting off the excess, and you'll have the nice long collage strip. So I'm just going to start gluing those down now. So there we go, that's our 2 collage strips there, all nicely coordinated, and you can of course cut them down into smaller pieces. Like, I'm not particularly loving this bit on the end here, so I'm just going to take my scissors and snip that bit off. But I'll keep that bit aside with all of the other pieces because that'll come in handy for a different collage strip. So there we go. So those were pretty quick. And the next ones I want to show you were even quicker than that, if you can believe it. So I made these 3, and I'm not sure if you can see, but if I line these up together, you may notice that some of the background actually matches up. So this ticket is part of the same ticket. This is part of the same ticket with something over the top. This is part of the same ticket. Yes, hello pussycat. So to create these, I got another sheet, and I'll use this green one this time, and then I took 2 rows of the photographs from the vintage grungy elements, and I've just cut them in a landscape section of 3 photos. I've got 2 of those.
Meow meow. Meow meow. Meow 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 meow.
Sorry about that, cat interlude, and he drooled on my photos. So now I have a drool mark. Oh well. So to start with these ones, which are super quick, is I'll just get a new glue page. I took my set of 3 photos and pop some glue on the back. And then I've just picked somewhere where I think they would look good on a collage strip, and I'm lining up this edge with the edge of the print, and I think I might make that up a bit higher actually. I don't want it down a bit lower. I'm going to put it about there. So I'm looking at how that's going to look above my photos. So I'm happy with that. I'll take this drooly bit . And I'm sort of looking for the same thing down here. I'm going to pop it on somewhere where I want it to look like it would look okay. And I think I'm going to go there. So now the edges of these photos, or these dividing lines in these photos, are going to dictate the edges of my collage strips. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out now. So now I've got the basis for how these 3 strips will look, and I'm going to use these elements here just to break it up and sort of make it a little bit more cohesive. Okay, for the most part, I think I'm pretty happy with that. You can always trim things down or add some other things after the fact, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down and see what we've got. So there we go, we have another 3 coordinating collage strips, and you can choose to cut them down wherever you like. You might want to cut it here and have this bottom half as, let's just do that. So I might cut along here. So that gives me 2 smaller collage strips like that. Or you might want to just decide to cut a piece off that you're not particularly happy with. So I might snip that one across there and have that one like that, and I'll just leave that one as it is. So another really quick way to bash out a couple of collage strips. So for the last 3 here, I wanted to do something similar, but I didn't want to keep maintaining the same pattern. I wanted to change them up a little bit. So if I bring in another sheet of paper, you can see that this sort of watercolour sample part is up the top, but I've got this up the top here. So I'll show you what I've done for that. And then I also grabbed, again from the Vintage Grunge Elements kit, these little photo panels. So these were for like the backs of the slides, and I've taken those in a coordinating colour and just cut them in half and added half on the end of each of the strip. So I'll show you how I've done that as well. So I'm just going to cut some bits from this sort of tealy coloured sheet. Okay, so I've cut my bits up and I'm going to put them back together basically just in different order so that my collage strips don't all look the same, just for a bit of variation. Now just to make it a bit easier, I'm going to glue my bits just to a piece of book page. And then I'll decide how I want to back them later on. So I'm just going to roughly cut that off. And this gives me a straight edge here. Or like I mentioned earlier, you can use the alignment sheets, the free download in the shop. So I'm just going to pop a bit of glue down the middle of this page. And I can use the edge to help me line everything up. It doesn't matter if things go over because we can trim it afterwards. So there we go, that gives us another couple that look a little bit different to all the rest. So there we go, they're the ones that we've created today, and they went together pretty quick, and I think they look great that they're all sort of colour coordinated, and you know, they all look like they belong in the same sort of set. And I love that with Renee's kits, because you get all of the different colour varieties, you can make so many in such a short amount of time to go with any project. So I'm sure we'll all be seeing a lot more collage strips popping up in the next few weeks thanks to inspiration from Tim Holtz, but then we'll all get inspired by each other as well. I also want to give a shout out to Margreth from Seven Plaza. If you haven't seen her video, I'll leave a link to that in the description box below as well. And I'll leave links to the kits that I've used from today's video. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you again next time. Bye!